A lot's happened since we last spoke in this kind of formal setting in the college, in our country, in the world. Most recently, I think the Japanese earthquake and tsunami, the escalating engagement in Libya, and the daily reports on the new policies of our new governor are all competing for our attention. And I know that all of you care deeply about what happens on all of those. You're all, in many ways, caught up in the crossfires of those issues. I've been focused on them a little bit too, but I've also been focused on something else in the last few months that I want to spend a few minutes on at the beginning, and then go into sort of a more formal State of the College address. The topic I've been focused on undergirds the debate on those other issues, like Japan and Libya and state government in Pennsylvania. And that's a very simple issue, simple name, civil discourse. I think we all recall the shootings in Tucson where a congresswoman, a 9-year-old girl, a federal judge, a social worker, a great-grandmother, a retired construction worker, and a woman who was celebrating 55 years of marriage to her high school sweetheart were all gunned down in front of the supermarket during a Congress on the Corner public event. There's been a furious and occasionally uncivil debate over whom, if anyone, contributed to the actions of the madman who shot them. Contributed by their exhortations, their rhetoric, their characterizations in blogs and tweets, in public speeches and campaign flyers, and other postings. And whatever be the conclusion to that ongoing debate, at the end of the day, these people got shot for expressing their political views, in some cases just for choosing to listen to someone else express their political views in a public marketplace. That sounds like something you hear about in the Middle East, maybe in a country in sub-Saharan Africa that didn't exist when most of us were born, maybe in a place like Belfast a generation ago. But it all happened right here in our country. And we move so fast sometimes, the 24-hour news cycle, that we're on to the next issue, the next tragedy, the next disaster, before we really had time to sift for the meaning in the last. If you look up the word civility in the dictionary, you'll find that it derives from the same root as the word city. Presidents Kennedy and Reagan both characterized America as like a shining city on the hill, which is a simile drawn right out of the book of Matthew. And those cities have grown exponentially. Civility doesn't seem to have kept up the pace. And we're bombarded on our airwaves and by daily blog with diatribes that portray those who have different ideas as lacking any redeeming virtues. A recently retired college president put it this way. He said, "There's never been a more pervasive level of intellectual dishonesty in society. A political opponent never has a thought worth considering. It's not enough to dismiss the opponent's ideas. Anyone on the other side must be characterized as the epitome of evil. If the argument continues to fail, a variety of ad hominem labels are available to end the discussion without any resolution except hate." I'm not sure about all the conclusions in those lines from Dr. Mary, the former Duquesne president, but I'm confident that he would agree with President Obama's challenge after Tucson. He called on Americans to expand our moral imaginations, to listen to each other more carefully, to sharpen our instincts for empathy, and to remind ourselves all the ways that our hopes and dreams are bound together. End quote. I believe there is a role that we in education play in this march to a more civil society. Critical thinking, the ability to listen, to analyze, to form ideas, and to communicate them are all skills fundamental to education and to democracy. And for many, the university is the place where we learn these skills by providing a safe, respectful environment that allows for opinions to be shared, by creating an atmosphere where the holder of an opinion can feel safe, by teaching critical thinking skills, by encouraging the dispassionate consideration of issues, by, in effect, giving students a nurturing environment to test their democratic skills. Mount Aloysius College is very much an incubator for democracy, where all the skills are taught, all the behaviors are modeled, so that when students do become citizens, they have all the tools needed to make democracy work. And I want to thank you at the outset for the role that you play in creating and nurturing this incubator for civil discourse. I want you to know I really look forward to working with you more to teach and exemplify those skills, to provide opportunities for our students to use and model them, skills which are just as essential to education as they are to democracy and to civil society.